Welcome back, Omnibuds. My name's Kevin, and you need to stop what you're doing and go pick up a copy of The Private Eye, written by Brian K. Vaughan, amazing art by Marcos Martín, and beautiful colors by Muntsa Vicente. I absolutely loved reading this book, and I can't wait to talk about it. Grab your cup of coffee, and let's check it out. All right, so here we have The Private Eye, written by Brian K. Vaughan, art by Marcos Martín, and colors by Muntsa Vicente. Notice the weird shape of this book. This is pretty unique in this kind of 16 by 9 landscape type format. So I'll talk more about this, but it's published, this paper copy is published by Image, but this was originally made available online at panelsyndicate.com. And we'll talk more about Panel Syndicate. But let's get into this. So what is this book about? This is kind of a futuristic, dystopian, noir story, and it's really about everyone has secrets, but not anymore. So it's set in 2076, I think it is, and essentially the story is roughly 70 years ago, the internet cloud burst. Now, what does that mean? The internet cloud burst. So the cloud, or internet servers across the country, somehow, kind of mysteriously, they don't really talk about it, releases all of its contents upon the entire country. People's secrets are no longer safe. People's data that was once thought private was now available for anyone. Think social media, credit cards, your search history, your medical records, your passwords, everything. Think of WikiLeaks, but for every human in the United States. So it's set in Los Angeles, and in the 2076, people don't go outside without masks, and we'll see more of that as we flip through here. Privacy is everything, and here we get a look at kind of what the streets of Los Angeles are like. You know, it's a little futuristic, but everyone's wearing masks to protect their privacy, because 70 years ago, privacy was lost. So the other thing is the internet, because of what happened, the government bans the internet. They shut off the internet. There has not been internet for over 70 years. So we meet this character whose name is P.I., kind of like private investigator. And he is a private investigator, but in this new world where secrets are everything, a private investigator is more akin to what we think of as the paparazzi, looking to reveal people's secrets, to search for the truth, and especially in Los Angeles, right, where all your movie stars live. So we follow this character, P.I. He's asked to investigate the murder of a young woman, and this takes him on a pretty wild ride through this. You know, we get a good look at what this world looks like, what specifically Los Angeles looks like in a post-internet world. So as he is on this investigation, you know, it takes him down some pretty dark paths, and he uncovers a secret plot by a millionaire media mogul to relaunch the internet. And, you know, based on what had happened 70 years ago, that's a pretty scary thought. So we meet, you know, a few other characters that we meet throughout this is Gramps, which is the grandpa of P.I. Now, he's a really cool character because he's, you know, 70 some odd years old. So he actually, like us, like you and me watching this video, grew up in the internet boom, right? In the early days of the internet. So one thing I want to call out about this book is just the amazing art in here. Art by Marcos Martín. He's done a lot of work with Marvel and DC, and he's worked in the past with Brian K. Vaughan on the Doctor Strange: The Oath story. But the colors by this woman named Muntsa, I forget, Muntsa Vicente, absolutely phenomenal. Now, I first saw this team on Ed Brubaker's Friday story, which also was originally published as a digital comic from panelsyndicate.com. So I think these are the first 2 books to actually get printed, but the art is just fantastic. This is a pretty fun story. It does get pretty dark, pretty gruesome. This story, it's heavily laced with references to the early 2000s, as the internet was kind of in its toddler stage, still coming of age. Brian K. Vaughan and the team throughout this book, they ask really good questions through the lens of this story. Is the internet actually good for humanity? Do we deserve to have privacy in today's world? And what would the world be like if we didn't have the internet now? Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martín created panelsyndicate.com, an online pay-what-you-want, direct-to-consumer comic book model, just so that they could put this book out. Since then, they've published a lot more books on there. And yeah, I did say pay what you want. You can go online and find stories, and you can pay anywhere from $0 to whatever the hell you want for an issue or an entire run. Like, you can read this fully online for free, although I do recommend paying creators for that. And since then, they've had other creators come to their website and do books in this model. A really funny story about this, when you're reading the extras, Brian K. Vaughan, as he's pitching this story to Marcos Martín, he says, hey, I'll do the story about United States and the internet no longer exists because of, some things that happened. And Marcos Martín replies, that sounds fantastic. I can't wait to work on this with you. We should make it exclusively available on the internet. So that's Private Eye. I don't want to give away too much of the story because I want everyone to go buy this and read this. But again, you can get a hard copy of this at your favorite comic shop or online retailer, or you can go to panelsyndicate.com and check it out digitally. So again, I absolutely love this book. I could talk for days about how much I love Brian K. Vaughan's writing. Some of his books are my favorite of all time. You can see them right here. Why the Last Man's my favorite book ever. I recently read Paper Girls, and it blew me away. But this story was so good, and just classic Brian K. Vaughan, witty dialogue, fast-paced, easy to get through, but had a lot of interesting ideas and concepts. But what I really want to focus on is the art by Marcos Martín and colors by Muntsa Vicente. Now, I was first introduced to this team with Ed Brubaker's Friday book, and the art in that book blew me away. I absolutely loved it, and I was so happy to see that they had worked previously on this book. I think this is fantastic. I learned a little bit more so this was published by Image in paper copy. But reading the extras of this book, I learned a little bit more about panelsyndicate.com, which Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martín created to publish comics on the web digitally for whatever the hell price you think is fair. That's right. You can go read comic books for absolutely free if you choose to do so. They won't judge you. I might. But you could pay $3, $4 for an issue. You could buy an entire series for whatever you think is fair. And what it does is it helps keep them creating and providing digital comics. The other thing I thought was really cool is the shape of this book. They've got another one coming out here pretty soon in the same exact shape. I thought that was really unique. I thought it would be a weird reading experience, but it was actually really, really fun. Just really cool book, really unique to have in the collection, and I think everyone should go buy it. Let me know down in the comics. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of Private Eye or Brian K. Vaughan or this art team, and what else you may have read from panelsyndicate.com. We'll see you on the next video.
If you're looking for great deals on collected edition comics or manga, we recommend shopping at panelboundcomics.com. They offer free shipping on orders over $30, plus bundled discounts to help you save even more. And if you're shopping from Europe or the UK, comicsbugle.com offers free EU shipping and a rewards program for regular buyers. Don't forget to use our discount codes at checkout.